Hi, welcome to The Big Picture. This is where we're looking at those big, amazing stories in the Bible. Have you noticed that when we're all stuck inside, things at home can start to get pretty untidy, and you might find yourself being asked to do some chores around the house? Have you also noticed that when somebody's asked, sometimes they will say all sorts of things to try and get out of them? Maybe the first thing they might try is just simply to say no. Now, I can't see that being very popular if being asked to help out at home, you suddenly say to mum and dad or somebody, no, I'm not going to do it. We might try saying, oh, I'll do it, but I'll do it later. And of course, later can go on for quite some time. And what we really mean is never. We might say, I'm busy. Not sure with what, but we'll find something to do, anything really, to get out of doing some chores, like doing the washing up or maybe doing some hoovering. And then we might just say, oh, do I have to? And then start to argue about it, see if that will help getting out of the job that we've been given to do. Today we are going to look at another story, and we're going to look at the story of Jonah, who was asked to do something really important. A long time ago, in a land far away, there was once a huge city called Nineveh. The king there was rich and powerful, and he ruled over his own land, which was also huge, and many other countries. He was an evil, cruel king, and so was everybody else who lived in Nineveh. Everybody was so mean to one another. And God could see what the king and the people were like, and he was angry with them. And he decided he was going to destroy the city and everybody in it. And he was going to send somebody to warn them. So he chose a man called Jonah. Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh. I want you to tell them that I've seen how evil they are, and I'm going to destroy the city. Now, Jonah didn't like the sound of this. If he went there and told them that, they'd kill him. So what he did instead was he packed his bag, he went down to the port, bought himself a ticket for a boat, got on board, and he went in completely the opposite direction. As soon as the boat set sail, God could see what Jonah was trying to do. So he sent a storm, and waves started to crash over the boat. Everybody on board was terrified because they thought the boat was sinking and it was starting to come apart. So all the sailors started to pray, and they realized that somebody had upset God. And Jonah put his hand up and said, it's me. God told me to go to Nineveh, but I'm running away. What you've got to do is throw me overboard. Well, the sailors didn't want to do that. Instead, what they did was they got hold of stuff that they thought would make the boat lighter. But the storm just got worse and worse and worse. And in the end, the sailors came back to Jonah and they said to him, thank you, we'd like to take you up on your generous offer. And with that, they threw Jonah overboard. And with that, the storm gradually started to die down, and Jonah just sank down into the sea. In the sea, Jonah began to sink, but God was still with him, and he sent a great big fish that came along and boom, swallowed Jonah whole. But inside the fish's stomach, it was pretty cramped and smelly, and Jonah started to feel very sorry for himself. He knew that he'd made a big mess of things by not doing what God had told him to do. So, in the fish's stomach, he knelt down and prayed, asking God to come and save him. And God heard his prayer, and he made the fish swim to the land and spit Jonah out onto the beach. Again, God spoke to Jonah and told him, I want you to go to Nineveh. So he went there and he travelled around the city,
telling everybody that God had seen their wicked ways and he was going to destroy the city. But instead of trying to kill him because of the things he was saying, they actually listened to him, even the king. And the king ordered everybody in the city to take off their fine clothes and put on sackcloth, which is really rough and is what's used to make sacks. And everyone was ordered to pray and to fast, which means to go without food. And the king and all his nobles, they got ash and they sat down in the ash to show that they were really sorry for what they had done. And God could see that they were sorry, and he could see that they were turning from their wicked ways. And to their amazement, and to Jonah's, God forgave them, and he saved the city.
Jonah got there in the end with God's help, and all the bad things that he was afraid of didn't happen, and amazingly God forgave all the people in Nineveh. Now sometimes we're asked to do things, maybe it's helping out, doing something that's good and right, but maybe we're not in the right mood or we just can't be bothered. Sometimes it's about doing something that's a bit more difficult. Maybe somebody is behaving like a bully to us or somebody else, and we know we need to do something. We know we need to go and tell somebody, but we're afraid what might happen next. It might be just about learning something new. New things can be very difficult at first, and maybe we become afraid and worried that we'll make a mess of it and look stupid. So we just give in, we kind of run away from them. And of course then we miss out on doing what is right and doing what is good for ourselves and maybe for other people as well. Now God helped Jonah. All the bad things that he was worried about didn't happen, and God was able to help him to go and speak to the people of Nineveh, and something really good happened afterwards. The people were forgiven. God can help us as well. He cares about each and every single one of us. And he wants to help us to do the right thing. He wants to help us to do the good thing, even though it may feel really difficult at the time. I'm going to finish again as usual by saying a prayer. Dear Lord, again I thank you that you love each and every single one of us. Each one of us is special. Each one of us is known to you. Thank you that you promise to help us. Help us to do what is good. Help us to do what is right. Help us to make a difference, not just to ourselves, but to the people around us. Help us by giving us your love. Help us by giving us courage. Amen. Thank you for watching. Have a good week. I hope to see you very, very soon.